What's up everyone, OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the RPG from GameFreak named Town. It got some new information, or more like a brand new screenshot that was recently revealed from Famitsu. Not a lot of information about this game. It was announced last year at the September 2018 Nintendo Direct. We haven't heard anything about this game. A lot of people have feared or said, well, maybe it would be a good thing if this game got delayed to 2020 for more polish and also just to kind of put more stuff into the game. But Game Freak and Nintendo still say that this game is going to be a 2019 title. We just don't know where in 2019 it's going to fall. So we're going to talk a little bit more about Town. You guys are seeing this brand new screenshot as well. It's looking better than ever, but I do want to get into what Game Freak as a developer is trying to do and what they're prioritizing going forward, because there was a recent interview to where they said they're not going to be prioritizing Pokemon and they're going to be looking to do more varied stuff, and some people got upset about that, but I think that's actually a good thing, especially for a game like Town if you're interested and excited about that. So we'll discuss that, but let's go over all the details and kind of recap what we do know and what's going on with this game. So once again, September 2018 Direct, that was the first time that they showed off the game. And the thing about Game Freak is that they actually have two teams that work on games. One of them is the Pokemon team, and the other one is the second development team that works on projects outside of Pokemon, and that's the team that's developing Town and developed Giga Wrecker All and Harmo Knight and some of the other games that they've done before in the past. Now, once again, this game is still set for 2019. I went on the official trailer for the page and went on Famitsu, and pretty much everywhere it still says 2019, and it seems like it's going to be that, but once again, there still could be a delay. We don't know. I guess we'll talk about that in just a bit. Now, Game Freak did say, like I said in an interview recently, that they want to do more varied things, that they want to kind of think outside the box. They want to go into new projects. And there was even one developer who went from the Pokemon team to directing a game. So he was a programmer on the Pokemon team making Pokemon games, and then he went to being the director of Giga Wrecker All, and he said that it was refreshing to him to see all the different stages of game development, from the conception to the planning all the way to consumers' hands, and having a hand into all of the stages of development. And he felt that that really broadened his horizons as a game developer and in his career. And I think that if you take that basic mindset, and if you look at Game Freak as a developer, they've wanted to do other things, they've made other titles, but pretty much that huge Pokemon shadow looms in their background. And I think at this point with Nintendo and what they're doing with the Nintendo Switch, with the type of sales that they're probably going to have, I think this is the time that they kind of increase their horizons. I think that going forward, Nintendo would probably want them to make their games on Nintendo hardware, and they finally have a piece of hardware that's capable for them to do different types of things that they couldn't do on the Nintendo 3DS. You have to remember, by the end of the Pokemon generation on the Nintendo 3DS, they had pretty much maxed out that system, going from Pokemon X and Y to what Pokemon Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon look like. Big jump there. So I think that they're looking for the next thing for them to do, and I think the introduction of a game like Town and them working on this type of title is something that's good. Not prioritizing everything for Pokemon is not a bad thing for Game Freak. It's not a bad thing for the Pokemon company and Nintendo, who also own Game Freak or who play a part into how Game Freak operates. I think that having a varied background of different types of games can really help you in the future. I think it's going to help the Pokemon company. I think it's going to help Nintendo. It's going to help Game Freak in terms of keeping employees happy and not getting stale or stagnant working on the same things over and over. And I think it's going to help them because they're going to think of new ideas in Town. There's already a bunch of cool stuff going on with the screenshot that you guys have seen, and if they can implement some of those things passively into the Pokemon game that can better the experience, that's going to be really good. We've seen this before when we have developers who work on certain projects and bring ideas over from one project to another project. We've seen developers take ideas that they've seen in other games and implement them. Well, if they have that all right there in-house in an RPG like Town, and they implement some type of things from there, they can put that into Pokemon as well and make it a better game. Pokemon Sword and Shield and future Pokemon titles. So I think it's a good thing that they're broadening the horizons. I think it's a good thing that they're not solely focused on Pokemon, just having Pokemon only. Having a game like Town provides the balance that I think the Pokemon company does need, and I think it's a great thing going forward, because I did see some people getting worried or upset or saying, okay, well, this is the reason why Pokemon hasn't done this or looks like this, but I don't think that's the reason at all, because if you look at Town's graphics, obviously it's artistic and it looks great, but it's not like the the most graphically intense game that you're going to see out there, and it does have that slick cartoon type of art style to it. So I think they're doing great things with this game. Now, here are some of the things that I'm really looking forward to when it comes to Town, because we haven't seen much, but I do want to talk about it. I really do like what they're doing here with the combat system. It looks like a traditional RPG with some nice little other elements tagged into there. The UI design really makes it look fresh. I think that's probably the cool thing about this game. We've seen games that kind of have this like wheel that comes up on you, or we've seen games that kind of have like these different options or UIs that kind of pop out like Persona. I love this one here. It's almost like little fluffy clouds, and then you also have circles based on what type of attack or what type of action that you're going to be doing. It clearly defines one thing from another. Even me not understanding the Japanese that's in here, you can clearly kind of see, and it puts that number in there like, well, this is what you're going to be able to do, and that's how many times you're going to be able to do it, or what you have left with this attack. So I really like that about this game. The UI just pops out and it makes it look really appealing to look at, and also presumably appealing to play as well. Same goes for the enemy and potentially what they're weak or what's good against them. I like that about this game too, and I just like the backgrounds and how they kind of put that in there. It seems like you're going to be able to seamlessly transition into the battle, so where you are in the town, it'll hop into the battle screen straight from there. So I'm really hoping that there isn't any type of different transition screens, kind of like almost how Chrono Trigger had it. There was no like separate battle screen that you hop into. It's just like you're just walking, then all of a sudden you see an enemy, then bam, the battle starts right there. And I think that if Town implemented that type of thing, that would be really cool and make the town even more interesting to look at, because it wouldn't be pre-canned backgrounds based on a position of where you think that you are, or where the game thinks that you are in that location, which we've seen before in other RPGs. But it's just like anywhere that you are in the town, if there's an enemy for you to fight, bam, it just hops right into the battle system. Everything just pops up. I love that seamless transition. So Town, I think, has the ability, because it does take place so far only in one town, to do so. But let's talk a little bit more about when this game is releasing and if it's going to get delayed. So I have two theories on this. If the game gets delayed, I think they're going to add multiple different things into the game that might have not been in there before. So if it gets delayed, I wouldn't be too angry with it, because there's a bunch of other games that are coming out in 2019, and they can polish this up and make this truly a game that maybe won't stand up to Pokemon, because Pokemon is huge, but make this a game that's going to be a big multi-million seller for them. I think that they can do that with this game if they take that extra time, if the game needs it. Now, they've probably been working on this game for quite some time, right? When they showed it off, it did look polished. So far, everything that we've seen with the trailer, it looked good. So if the game is ready to go in 2019, and they can find a spot for it in 2019 that works for Nintendo, and it works for the type of release list that they do have, then cool, get it out in 2019. But if they need to wait to kind of give it a little bit more room to breathe and also polish up a few more things, I have no problem with them waiting to 2020 to unleash this game, Town, because it does look that good, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing from everything here so far. I'm just hoping that it's not too short when it comes down to it, because it takes place all in one town, so there's only so much you can do with only having it in that one area. Usually vast and varied locations is something that help RPGs and something that help action adventure games and just titles in general. And I think that's what Japanese developers actually do a really good job with when it comes to their games. So we're gonna have to see how much depth they put into this and how big of a scope this game actually is, because just in one town, I mean, how many parts are you going to have? The town didn't seem like it was very advanced or anything like that. So there definitely is going to be more than what meets the eye with this game. Maybe there's multiple towns and you travel to them. Maybe they build in some town elements when it comes to the economy and things that you can get. If you build up the economy, you do different odd jobs for people. Maybe they can build up the towns and you can transfer between them. But they did say it takes place in one town from what I remember. But maybe they expand the scope of the game. I'm just kind of throwing out some ideas here if there is a delay, or if they decided to add to the experience that they've already showed us. So overall, excited for Town. If it comes out 2019, rip wallet like always, because there's so many games coming out in 2019. If it comes out in 2020, that's cool. It'll probably be a better game for it, or they'll probably put some extra stuff in there that might have not been before, or could have been DLC. Maybe they just didn't have time and wanted to kind of add it in there afterwards. So I'm not really sure what they're going to do, but based off of this screenshot here and the footage that we've already seen, Town is looking really good, and I can't wait to when they actually reveal more official information. Hopefully we get something at E3 2019 or even in the Direct later in the year. So what do you guys think about Town and this brand new screenshot? In addition to Game Freak not solely focusing only on Pokemon and kind of expanding their horizons a little bit, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Alright guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and check out the links in the description below. We got Facebook and Twitter. Go ahead and give us a like and a follow on our social media. Hit that like button if you did like this video. Let me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerEssence for this RPG, Japanese, and Nintendo gaming news. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you guys for the next one. Peace.